Relax, Kermit, we gotta start filming.
Oh crap, Jake, I did it again!
Come on, seriously, Kermit? We're gonna get arrested again because of you. Oh crap, here are the freaking police sirens
This is
again.
Lieutenant Frank Drebin again. Come out with
there's
your
Frank
hands
Drebin.
up.
Come on, Kermit. Hello everybody, welcome back to ACR, and for new viewers, ACR stands for Action Comedy Review. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the final installment of the Naked Gun trilogy, Naked Gun 33 1/3, The Final Insult. Came out March 18th, 1994, and made $122.4 million in the box office, and had a budget of $30 million. It was directed by Peter Segal and distributed by Paramount Pictures. The cast from the other two movies come back with new characters, like we have Leslie Nielsen as Frank Drebin, Priscilla Presley as Jane Spencer Drebin, George Kennedy as Ed Hocken, O.J. Simpson as Nordberg, and Fred Ward as Rocco Dillon. The movie's 82 minutes long, which comes to about an hour 25 minutes. But anyway, let's start this review.
I'm talking about the powder.
Oh, we haven't got a clue about that, Ed. Here, let me take that urine specimen from you, Frank.
The movie starts out with Frank's nightmare where he's undercover and everything just goes wrong, and it's really funny. Frank wakes up screaming and Jane comforts him. But then they fly out the window. Then the intro plays. It's the same one from the other two movies, but this time it's The Naked Gun, 33 1/3, The Final Insult. And of course they have new jokes in there. Then it cuts to a prison where we're introduced to Rocco Dillon and his mother. And it turns out that he was working for Pahpshmir before he got thrown in jail. Pahpshmir is the bald dude from the first movie. And then they reveal that Rocco's trying to get out of prison.
Oh, I remember that bald dude!
No, you don't. Cuts to Frank and he's at a supermarket, and then he sees a woman getting her bag stolen. Frank tries to pull out his gun, but then he reveals in a flashback that he left police squad about 6 months ago. Also, Garfield's on this bag of kitty litter in the background, so obviously they did that joke in the second movie on purpose.
No, you're just going insane.
Apparently Frank and Jane are going through couples therapy, and Jane wants a baby. It cuts to Frank's house, and Ed and Nordberg show up. They tell Frank about this new terrorist threat, and they have a lead on it. Her name's Tanya. And apparently Ed, Frank, and Nordberg met her a while ago, and now Ed wants Frank to investigate. Frank goes to her work and finds out where she lives and writes it down on a handkerchief. Jane finds out that Frank's been working with police squad again, so she leaves with her friend. Frank shows up at police squad and he tells them that he lost the handkerchief that had the information they needed on it. But then we have the reoccurring Ted lead that moves the plot forward. Frank volunteers to go undercover in the prison that Rocco's at to figure out his plan.
In the next couple of days.
Lights out. Lockdown in 2 minutes.
My dearest Snooky Wilkins dumpling bun.
Frank arrives at the prison and gets put in the same cell as Rocco, and he takes on the name Nick the Slasher McGurk. Frank proves that he's a trustworthy man to Rocco by hiding his plan in the lunchroom when a guard was trying to find it. And then they create a new plan when that one gets destroyed. Then we get a Shawshank Redemption joke where Frank's dumping dirt around the prison when nobody's looking, and I thought that was really funny. It cuts to Jane and it shows that she misses Frank. And it turns out that she had the handkerchief that had Rocco's girlfriend Tanya's address on it. She thinks that Frank's gonna have an affair with her, so she heads out to stop them.
Well, that reminds me of Miss Piggy.
Just gonna leave the bit right there?
Huh? Oh yeah, here I am.
Alright. Frank and Rocco break out and Rocco's mother picks him up. Then they head to Tanya's house, and Frank tries to get some information about the plan, but that fails. Jane shows up, and Frank covers for her by telling them that they should use her as a hostage. The next day, Rocco shows off his plan with this letter, and a huge explosion happens. Cuts to the inside of the bunker, and their hair's blown back, and then Rocco does a Beavis and Butthead joke where he's like, cool, cool.
Oh, I
remember that show. It was the one with the sponge, right?
Sure. Yeah. Let's go with that.
6'2".
Kind of look like Phil Donahue.
Yeah.
That's the guy! Get it! Get it!
Pahpshmir watches from a helicopter above the Academy Awards as Frank and Rocco show up. After Rocco leaves to get inside, Frank traps Rocco's mother in the car. And it shows Rocco and Tanya trying to mix the bomb in with the rest of the cards. Frank and Jane try to get in, but that fails, so they knock out Weird Al and Vanna White, and they steal their clothes, and then they get inside. Rocco does the switch with the letters, and Frank gets onto the stage. And this teleprompter dude is actually David Zucker. And fun fact, he has a cameo in every single Naked Gun movie.
Nobody cares.
Ed and Nordberg see that Frank's on the TV, so they decide to go help him out at the Academy Awards. Weird Al points out that Frank was the one who knocked him out and stole his clothes, and then Frank gets chased around as Nordberg, Ed, and the rest of Police Squad show up. Frank runs it around more and Nordberg helps him out after he sees something gross. Frank notices that they're about to open the bomb, and he stops them before they open it. But then Rocco pulls out his gun and then takes charge.
Ooh, I did that once, but then I got thrown into Area 51. And then they did tests on my brain.
That why you're so weird? Rocco's mom gets killed, then he freaks out and kidnaps Jane after trying to get the bomb. Frank chases after them, and then he accidentally saves Jane. Then Rocco gets tied to a rubber cable, then he gets flung down, grabs the bomb, then he flies back up, breaks through the ceiling, and flies into the bottom of Pahpshmir's helicopter and comes out of the toilet. Then, he blows up.
Ooh, that reminds me of that time I got thrown out of a helicopter. Oh, good times, good times.
I'm assuming you didn't have a parachute.
Huh? How'd you know?
Just a wild guess.
Then everyone's clapping for Police Squad because they saved the day. Cut to 9 months later, and Frank and Nordberg are running around the hospital, and they're trying to film Frank's kid's birth. They film the wrong birth, and Frank thinks it's Nordberg's kid. So then he chases him around, and then Ed shows up with Jane and the actual kid. And he says, "Hey, it's a boy." But then Frank says, "I already knew." And that's the end of the film. And then there's a few jokes here and there in the credits. I'll put them up now for you to pause and then read them. And, that's it for the Naked Gun trilogy.
Oh god, finally, this was a terrible mashup of the first and the second movie. Oh god, I actually hated this movie.
Ah, so you do like some of the movies then, don't you, Kermit? I getcha.
That is not at all what I said.
Let's see. I give Naked Gun 33 and a third, The Final Insult, 5 Weird Al's out of 10.
Oh, no!
Movie was alright. Definitely the weakest of the trilogy. Don't get me wrong, there was a ton of jokes. Some of them were good, but it's just, most of them were just too long, redone, overused. The movie wasn't an enjoyable experience. There are some good aspects about the movie, like, they took a plot idea from the first movie, which is bringing back Pahpshmir, and the whole terrorist plot point from the first movie. Problem was, it was just executed way too poorly. And sometimes the story was just a little too hard to follow. Like, I get that they were trying to make fun of movies with some of these cliches, but it just didn't work. They just didn't do it right. Honestly, one of the main reasons why I liked the second movie so much was because they gave the other characters more screen time. And they actually gave them more of a purpose in the story. But then they just throw all that out of the window again with the third movie, and they're barely in this. And you could very clearly tell that they were trying their hardest to, like, get them out of the movie. Because I'm pretty sure they only had, like, 4 or 5 scenes in the movie. And then they rehashed the same ending from the second movie, where a bomb is gonna blow up thousands of people, and it's bad, and then they have to stop it. It was a movie, I didn't like it very much. All I have to say about that. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Tell me what you thought of the movie in the comments section below. Tell me if you've seen it, you're going to see it. whatever. And while you're down there, you might as well like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and all that good stuff. And while you're doing that, you might as well follow my social media pages, links in the description below. But anyway, see you next time for my review of Airplane. Have a good one. See you next time.